Welcome to the saga. Trump versus Powell. The rate war begins. This isn't just politics. This is economic warfare at the highest level. On one side, Donald Trump, former president, pressuring for rate cuts to fuel a comeback. On the other, Jerome Powell, Fed chair, trying to protect the U.S. economy from inflation and political interference. In this series, we're breaking down what really happened during Trump's historic visit to the Fed, why Trump wants rate cuts, and why it's not just about the economy, how Powell is responding, and why this could define his entire legacy. And most importantly, how all of this affects your money, your trades, and your future. This saga is more than drama. It's strategy, economics, and power all colliding. By the end, you'll know what moves to watch and how to make your own. Start the saga now. Episode 1 is up next. Check the description or the video link below to jump into the war between Trump and the Fed. Let's begin.
Donald Trump just made a rare move. He met privately with Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell and demanded immediate rate cuts. This wasn't a tweet or speech. It was direct pressure. Hours later, news of the meeting leaked. Trump reportedly warned that the Fed's policy is slowing growth, raising borrowing costs, and hurting consumer confidence. But this isn't just about the economy, it's about timing. With the 2025 election approaching, Trump wants a rally he can claim credit for. This visit wasn't symbolic, it was strategic. Trump is trying to influence monetary policy to shift the market narrative in his favor. Powell, meanwhile, is under pressure to hold the line and defend the Fed's independence. The question now, will Powell stand firm or cave to political heat? And why would Trump push for cuts when inflation is still a concern? We'll break that down in episode 2. Click the link in the description or the next video to continue the series.
Why is Trump pressuring the Fed to cut rates now, even with inflation still in play?
The answer isn't economic, it's political. He wants momentum before the 2025 election. Rate cuts lower borrowing costs, boost consumer spending, and push the stock market up. Trump knows that if the market rallies and people feel financially confident, it strengthens his campaign. A surge in home sales, rising 401ks, and cheaper loans all feed into a narrative of economic success, one he wants to control. But that timing matters. If cuts come too late, the impact won't be felt before voters head to the polls. Trump's trying to get ahead of that. This isn't about monetary stability. It's about creating a wave of optimism in time for the headlines. Powell knows this. He's been through Trump's pressure before. But this time, the stakes are higher. So how is Powell responding behind closed doors? Find out in episode 3. Click the description or next video to continue.
Jerome Powell didn't cave. He listened, nodded, and kept his response vague.
But behind the scenes, he's resisting. Powell knows that giving in to Trump's demands could damage the Fed's credibility. Inflation is still hovering above target. Wage growth remains sticky, and energy prices are rising again. Cutting rates now risks undoing 2 years of tightening and reigniting inflation. For Powell, the risk is clear. If he cuts too soon and inflation spikes again, he becomes the Fed chair who surrendered to political pressure and lost control of the economy. But holding firm isn't risk-free either. If markets dip or a recession hits before the election, Powell will take the blame from both sides. This is a lose-lose situation, and investors are watching every word he says, every pause in his speech. So what happens next? In episode 4, we cover the 3 outcomes and how to position your money. Tap the description or next video to continue.
This saga ends here, for now, but the real story is still unfolding.
Trump has made it clear. He's willing to challenge the Federal Reserve head-on to shape the economy heading into the next election. Powell, on the other hand, is standing on decades of precedent, trying to protect the Fed's independence while inflation remains a concern. This wasn't just about one meeting. It was about control, leverage, and timing. What happens in the next few months, rate cuts or not, could set the tone for markets, elections, and economic direction into 2025. If you've followed every episode, you now understand how politics, interest rates, and market momentum are more connected than ever. This is where traders get caught off guard or get ahead. Stay sharp, stay informed, and most importantly, stay ready to adjust when the next headline hits. Dive deeper into key market narratives. Click the description or next video to keep your edge sharp.